Hello, cleaning owners. My name is Greg Sack. I am the Chief Revenue Officer and the guy that put together so much of the training for you. Today, or in this video, I wanted to spend some time going through pricing. It's a question that everybody ends up having for us, and we want to make sure you fully understand it. Not only understand pricing, but understand why is the pricing the way the pricing is. So what you're seeing here is a spreadsheet. It's kind of where we start to allow you to understand. I will start off by saying, when you dive into the multifamily space, there are some specific costs that we need to kind of tackle or things that we need to talk about. And those are going to be things like insurance, vendor integrations, invoicing, customer support, things of that nature. So we'll kind of go through those in detail. So like, why is the fee what the fee is? But we charge 19%. And that's really what you're seeing here in this margin line. So to walk you through this, what we're looking at here are different types of cleans in a multifamily environment. So you've got a turn clean, you've got construction clean, and then up higher you have unit touch-up cleans, which is, as we've already educated you on, that's really more for like something that's already been cleaned that you want to touch up. So if you look at this spreadsheet, which I'm going to give to you, by the way, I'm going to make this available here in the training. You can download it, keep it, use it for your own purposes. But what you're going to do is walk into a scenario and say, okay, what do I, as the cleaner, or as the clean company, what do I want to charge for a studio or for a one bedroom? And what'll happen is it'll tell you what customer pricing would look like. So let's just say, for example, for for a two bedroom, let's say you didn't want 110, but you wanted $115. You hit enter, you'll notice this says 141.98. So that's what you would have to charge the community in order for you to get your $115. Well, 141.98 sounds a little goofy in some instances. So the communities are a little more, they're kind of attuned to getting more round numbers. So what you might want to do here is just, you come over here and you say, hey, if the customer price is let's say 140, if you want to bring it down to become more competitive, then it says, okay, my pay needs to be my pay will be $113.40. Generally speaking, our cleaners are more apt to be the ones that take kind of these oddball numbers rather than the customer, but that is totally up to you. You can price it however you see fit. So you can come over here and say, okay, well, I want them to be 140. I want this to be 130. And you can kind of go down the line here. And let's just say for a three bedroom, you say, okay, I want this to be, 125. You're at 154. Well, maybe that makes better sense. We're going to make that 155. And now instead of 125, you're going to get 125.55. So that's how this tool works. It helps you kind of identify, what do you think you deserve for that particular clean? And then what do we actually want to present to the customer? But you fully understand exactly what you're going to get after the pinch fee is taken out. So next is, well, what is that breakdown? Like, why am I paying a pinch 19%? Well, here it is. This is just kind of, hey, if we looked at a $130 transaction to a community, the pinch fee is 19%, which means our take would be $24.70. So when you break this down, pinch is actually making 5%. That's what you see down at the bottom. That's what's really left over for us. And that's kind of a moving number because each job, it is slightly different with all of these different expenses. But what we tried to do is we tried to break it down and say, okay, what are our expenses for bringing these services to you? And then we kind of looked at, well, what if you did it on your own? Well, I'll get into some of that in a minute. But first and foremost, kind of the most expensive is vendor integration and invoicing. So vendor integration is us getting into NetVendor, into RealPage, into Compliance Depot. There's so many of them. Many of those vendors charge us an annual fee. Some of them charge us per transaction. But when you put all that together, you put together the invoicing process, which each community is going to request, weekly invoices, daily invoices. It's kind of different depending on their own needs. They may have specific things that they need or not need, but that technology and the people that we have to be able to create all of that invoicing, which includes like if you have to add an additional fee, like let's say you get into an apartment and it's really dirty, you want an excessive fee, or has a really bad oven and you want to charge an upcharge for the oven fee. Like those are all the things that our team has to manage. So we're doing all of that for you. Full accounting systems, we do everything there. We have insurance costs. So Pinch is the vendor of record. We have, as you've probably already experienced by now, we have very stringent insurance requirements that the multifamily communities put on us. So we have to have usually pretty high liability, $2, $3, $4, $5 million in liability. We have to have workers' comp and auto policies. Next is scheduling and support team. So we have a support team that supports you as you guys have those additional fees, as you have questions about things in your schedule. We even have some AI technology that we've built to help absorb the scheduling from the different managers that are calling in or emailing in or texting in to get those jobs onto your calendar. So we're doing all of that for you. Again, that represents about roughly 2.5% of that 19%. Next is the platform software. So all the stuff that, it's kind of all of our R&D and the things that you get, the tools that you get, not only for the multifamily jobs, but then also even for your own clients that you might have residentially, or if you have another commercial client that maybe you're not working with Pinch on. Like all of those tools have been developed and we continue to develop them so that you can take photographs of jobs that you've done and you can upload them into the tool. So that way, if there's ever a question about the community or from the community saying there's an issue with this particular unit, or why did you charge me these fees, we have documentation for that. So again, that platform software represents about 2% of the cost. Then we've got collections processes. As everybody knows, people don't like to pay their bills. Multifamily is no different. So we have built structures and processes that automate the process for us. We also make phone calls. We are emailing. We are constantly going after communities to try and get them to pay their bills faster. Naturally, we will lean on you to help with that, but we have all of those processes in place to try and collect as fast as we can. As soon as we get the money, we turn it right back over to you. So again, if you look at like 14% of that 19% are hard costs. Our take is only 5%. And even within that, we are producing a lot of our own sales. A lot of times we are handing those jobs over to cleaners, and that can happen anywhere in the country. But hopefully if you look through this and you think about what would this cost me to do all the integration myself? What would it cost me in time and money to create invoicing processes? What are my insurance costs going to look like? Do I have technology and tools to be able to do scheduling and even have a back office staff that can take phone calls and manage emails? Do I have a technology software platform? And do I have a collection process? Like you start building all of that up and it will be significantly more than 14%. We focus on this. So we are very, very good at it. And that's why it's only 14%. So I hope this was informative to you. What I did here is I will move this, and this kind of breaks down the actual numbers. So that $24.70, you'll see what the actual expense, the real hard dollar expense is, and that's where those percentages came from. So you got that total hard cost being the 14. We're collecting 5. And again, I will keep this link in the training so you can download it at any time. But feel free, if you ever have questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're always here to help you. We want you guys to be successful. We want you to price deals correctly so that you're winning business and you're also really expanding and scaling your business, growing leaps and bounds. We look forward to working with you. Thanks so much for your time.